Hey guys, my name's Kyle Saxton. I'm here with Ben White. He's with Arctic Cat, and we're here with the rest of the Arctic Cat crew and the Black Cats. And we're gonna go do an avalanche rescue training course today.
Yeah, this is gonna kind of be a refresher for you guys. We're gonna kind of start out with those basics just so it comes back to you. But yeah, this course is just gonna be beacon, shovel, probe, rescue drills. The AIARE 1, you know, we like to say that's plan A, right? Like avoid getting caught in the avalanche altogether. If you remember, that's all about trip planning and conditions and group management and you know, avoiding the hazard and things like that. This is plan B, right? When something goes wrong and you have to potentially dig someone out. You know, these are the skills that we want to be able to put into use and be really good at, but hopefully never actually have to do it, you know?
Cool thing about the rescue course is that we can really customize what you guys get out of it today. So like when we have a fresh group of people who have never done any avalanche training, we keep it really basic, but because you guys have all, you know, had experience with your level 1 already, and you guys play with gear already, we'll be able to jump into more advanced topics. So it's kind of nice that we can kind of customize that for you guys, so you get out of it what you want to get out of it.
So everybody seems to have pretty good probes this year. You know, pre-season I'm always either getting a new one or just checking the cables and things like that. And then with these carbon probes, they do crack, you know, so you just want to look at it carefully. If it's in good shape, these pins should work real well. When shovels start to deteriorate, you know, maybe these things get worn out. The welds between the on the blade might start to crack, things like that. You know, you don't want your shovel to break when you're rifling through avalanche gear.
But all of avalanche rescue is a checklist, right? Mm-hmm. There's a step-by-step process that we do from start to finish. And if we can do all those steps in a timely manner, we got a good chance of getting somebody out alive. I like to picture when I'm doing the signal search, it's kind of like I'm mowing the lawn with a 20 by 20 mower deck, you know, and I don't want to walk through that debris and leave any spots where I didn't hit with my deck, right? When you get a 5 on your transceiver, we should be getting down on the snow to be doing our fine search. Really at 3 is when it typically begins, but I like to be really fluid with how I get into my fine search. So at 5, that's when I'm starting to touch down on the snow. Because during the fine search, we want our transceiver as close to the snow as we can. That being said, if there's a bunch of big blocky avalanche debris, we want to pick a consistent height. So we're not like going up and down with our transceiver and getting different numbers. Because the fine search is about working a grid with our transceiver to try to find the lowest possible number. So we need some consistency with how we're holding this thing. For right now, because everything's pretty darn consistent snow height, I'm just gonna get it down in the snow because that's gonna be my lowest number that I can get. Some of the mistakes that we see a lot with these fine search drills is that people kind of use their transceiver like a metal detector, like they have a set number that they're gonna get with their transceiver, but you really don't have any idea how deep they're gonna be. Your lowest number could be a 0.5, it could be a 1, it could be a 1.5, it could be 3. So it's way more important to work a consistent grid and pay attention to the numbers and how they change as you move. So I love the analogy run, walk, crawl, and that kind of defines the stages of the beacon work, okay? So when we're looking for a signal, we're running. When we find a signal, we're walking pretty quickly. And then at 10, I like to stop, take a deep breath, because this is where it's gonna get harder. And I really wanna pay attention to my arrow and my numbers, and I'm gonna do a course correction. So right now it's telling me to turn to the right. So just that much turn, and now it's straight on. So 9.9, 8.5, 6.7. So it's told me to go to the left a little bit. I'm at 4.5, so I'm gonna start to get down low to the snow. 3, 3.2, 2.7. Okay, right back here at about 3. I'm now locked on a straight line. I can't turn left or right anymore. And all I'm gonna try to do is get these numbers to go down to the point where they start going up again. That's how I get my lowest number. So 2.5, 2.3, 2, 1.6, 1.5, 1.4, 1.1. Okay, and right there it just went up. So I'm gonna come back to here where I had a 1.1. So by coming in and going past my lowest number,
it goes up to like 1.2, 1.3?
Yeah, and I like to see it go up more than just a tenth of a decimal. Because
Okay.
like these things are only so accurate. They're good, but I like to see that bigger change. Next axis on the grid. So I'm just gonna check to my right. 1.1, 1.3, it instantly went up, so I'm getting further away from that person. 1.1, I'm gonna check to my left, 0.8, 0.6, 0.4, 0.3, 0.5, I've gone past them. Probe right here. I just got a strike. That was lucky. Say it was right here is my lowest number. I'm just gonna pick a direction, any direction, doesn't matter. And I'm gonna move about a foot out. And I'm gonna put my probe in the snow in a circular motion, getting bigger. That was another strike, but I'm just gonna, for demonstration, see how I'm getting bigger.
Do you want to keep your feet moving there?
Yes,
Yeah.
great question. Don't be afraid to move your feet. Once we have a strike, I'll pull the probe back out so I can visualize how deep that burial is gonna be. And then I wanna put that probe right back in the same hole where that strike was. This probe strike is gonna give you your target, right? There have been case studies where folks didn't have their probe and they got a low number on their transceiver and they just started digging. Well, they ate up a lot of time and they didn't know that they were just this far away from their buddy. It's about a meter or less. We're gonna take one really big step downhill, maybe a little half step. We're gonna get down and we're gonna tunnel into that bottom of the probe. And keep in mind, like, no matter where you hit on that person, they're gonna be below that. Right here, because we have low snow conditions, we're just gonna be able to go to the ground. But keep in mind, once you get to the person, you still have a lot of digging to do. Generally, when you're tunneling in like this, you end up with a really nice flat working space.
Yeah.
And you know, you picture your banks are this tall now, and they're protected from the wind. So 1.5 times the burial depth. If it's over a meter, 2 steps downhill. And then your formation can matter, and it all depends on your resources. If it's just you, that's a lot of work. So the widest we can be without being excessively wide is good. So if we have the resources to have 2 people up front and then people in the back clearing their snow out, then we have a better chance of finding that head. The goal is to just break up that hard snow and get it to your side, and then the people in the back, they're kind of not quite down on their knees, but they're pretty low, and they're just sweeping that excess snow as it comes out. So we get that auger effect, that conveyor belt of snow just constantly coming out. It's really hard when it's your buddy under the snow to take a step back. You want to be the guy up front, but you're gonna get tired and you're gonna slow down. And so like when you're in the back, that's your time to be like, okay, I'm getting ready. So as soon as we call a rotate, I'm gonna be fresh arms and I'm up there working my ass off again. The people in the back, it's your job to not take a shovel to the face. Because the guys up front, they're going frantic, they're going as fast as they can. But on the same note, especially guys with long shovels, don't be roosting the people. Okay, next step is choose a leader. This one often in the scenarios at least doesn't really get like addressed like, hey, I'm the leader. But really somebody needs to take that role. You can be telling people like, hey, get your probe out. You guys get your shovels out. He's on beacon work. And that way we can function like a well-oiled machine. And we're gonna do a little bit more beacon work, and then we're gonna put everything together into a scenario, okay?
19, 16, 15, 13, 10, 7, 5, 3, 2.5, 2.0, 1.3, 1.1, 0.9, 0.9, 1, 0.6, 0.5, 0.6, 0.7, 0.5, 0.8, right here.
Awesome job. Because you just did a fine search with a transceiver, so you know you got close. If you do a good fine search, you should get a probe strike pretty darn quick.
Oop, strike.
If you're riding with people that do not have that level of education, it'll help me determine what zones I'm going to go with those, with those people too.
Totally, that's pretty little level 1 risk management into it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And as far as like spreading the word, Ben said it perfectly last year. It's we kind of look at this as like a driver's license. You know, if you're serious about mountain snowmobiling, you should at least have your level 1. And you know, I've been telling that to a lot of people, and it kind of starting to click with people. You know, more and more people are getting that level 1.
Yeah.
You know, and then the rescue course and the level 2, working on it.
I